So, motherfuckers, Harikrishna victory yesterday was maybe the huge candidate to be the best game of the year. I really like how he plays, like a positional, tactical. I really like this game. So let's see. This is a he faced a Petrov opening, who is one of the most solid in chess, but he managed to create magic against the Petrov. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6. Okay, here white have many moves, but Harikrishna played D4. 95 was the main move, but okay, D4 is completely normal. And here, okay, this is a opening tricks video, so I'm going to show us a little bit different black responses to give you some lines if you want to add this idea to your repertoire. So okay, here Nesterov take on E4, but he take D4. I'm going to teach us how to respond against different black moves. If black takes, he takes D4, here E5, 94, queen d4, d5, and here we're going to take on d6 and just develop the pieces with knight c3. Okay, he attack our queen, so we go to f2, to f4, bishop e3, and no castle. That's why we're going to play against e takes d4. Okay, if black here defend was solid with d6, we're going to take. D takes, of course, is not logical because we can just take, and f7 is under attack. So he's going to take on e4, queen d5, knight c5, and now important move, bishop d5, bishop d6, it takes d6, queen d6, and now we are not going to take nothing. We just still developing pieces. You should play the Petrov with the only white idea is have more development than the black because the pawn extractor are symmetrical. So we should have more development to have the initiative. Queen takes, bishop d6, bishop e3, and no castle, and white is fine. So okay, 94 is the main move. And now bishop d3 here was the main move, was the most employed. But Harikrishna have an idea with d takes c5. And now black have two moves, or d5 or bishop c5. If d5, just knight d2, and okay, this is more or less normal everything, just develop the pieces. e1, h3, bishop f4, bishop e2, queen d2, everything normal. If, okay, if he maintain the pressure, we just attack the knight with bishop d3, and for example, something like this. So, but okay, I'm going to put the focus on the move c5, who was played by Nesterov. Because this game was completely amazing, played by Harikrishna. I really like. Okay, here the main move was bishop c4, who is so complicated, of course. This move leads to huge complications. After knight f2, bishop f7, king f7, queen d5, king g6, queen c5, knight h1, knight c3. The position is completely crazy. I have no so much analysis here, but the position is fucking crazy. The machine says equal, but you, of course, you should know the concrete theory, because if not, you are going to have trouble, because, like I told, find the good moves over the board in this position is so difficult. So, okay, that bishop c4 was the main move, but Harikrishna here have a great idea of sacrifice his queen. He have idea of a queen sacrifice with queen d5. Great move. Okay, now he's attacking the bishop and the knight. You could think, okay, queen e5, logical move, attacking bishop and the knight. Okay, now black should respond with bishop f2, only move, defending both pieces with check, king e2, and now f5, defending the knight. And now Harikrishna played knight c3, c6, and now we saw the incredible idea of Harikrishna. If you go back with the queen, for example, I don't know, maybe queen d3, black, for example, can take here and then leave with the bishop or something like this. Or maybe d5 here was an interesting option. Short castle, black has some moves. Or just go back with the bishop. So, but Harikrishna here have an incredible idea with knight takes e4. Sacrificing the queen for just two pieces. This is not so huge material. Oh, no, a queen and a pawn. Black is going to have a queen and a pawn for two pieces. After she takes d5, knight d6, king f8, king f2. Now black have a queen and a pawn, and white only have uh, two pieces against the queen. So that's a complete huge sacrifice, because it's like 4 points of you are like 4 points down, because the queen have 9 points or 10 of value, like the extra pawn, and you only have a knight and a bishop for the queen. But why Hare Krishna made that? Okay, we are going to stop here, of course, because now we have a queen down, and we are going to analyze why this. Okay, the machine say that black is slightly better, but I don't believe in that. It's over the board. This position is better for white. And if you have the idea too, and if you have some analysis of you or you know where to develop the pieces, the idea gains so much value because it's not only what the machine say. If you have many analysis and you know well the position and your opponent doesn't know the position, who used to be common when you go for sidelines, you have the yes the advantage in the real practice. Okay, here black have two options. Okay, let's. Oh no, sorry, I not talk about why white is fine here. Okay, in material black is up. But let's see the black pieces. Are black have all his pieces undeveloped. And white, okay, white have not so much development, but have his a great knight on d6 and his knight on f3. Other of the black problems is the c8 bishop. Who have so many troubles to be developed. And the rooks the same. The h8 rook is going to have so many troubles to be developed, and the a8 rook the same. And apart of all of them, the d6, the f8 king sorry is so weak. Is the pieces are going to attack the black king. But one of the most important thing of white position is the d6 knight, of course, and the blockade on d6 that he has. If black managed to break this blockade, okay, he could be fine. So okay, let's see how black can make to develop the pieces. For example, bishop b6 is a normal move just to develop the bishop, and to a6 to trade bishops. So white should play bishop d3 and bishop f5, not allowing black to trade bishops, knight c6, rook e1, defending, queen c7, bishop f4. White plan is more or less simple, it's just develop the pieces. 97 and 94, like I told, the machines is equal, but I really like white because okay, you can see now black have developed all his pieces, but the d6 knight, the problem is that the d6 knight is so strong. His pawn is so strong too, and the black king is so weak. For example, okay, black have two rooks, but the rook have no open files. And what the black rooks can do, you cannot go to c8, this rook is trapped too, and the white rooks are playing. So that's the huge difference that the white pieces are playing and the black pieces are not playing. That's why I really like this idea of Harikrishna. Okay, he played knight c6, his opponent with the normal move, bishop b3, and here black have many options. I analyze all a little bit to give us some ideas if you want to play this opening in your own games. I really recommend us to play this opening in your own games. So okay, for example, black can play b6, rook d1, queen c7. The idea of b6 is now develop the bishop to b7, not to a6, of course. b6, rook d1, queen c7. Here, knight b5 or rook d5 are possible. I recommend knight b5 to force the queen to go to b8, because if you take first on d5, now the queen could go to c8. So I recommend to play first knight b5. And okay, we could read this position, and now it's the same. It's just develop the pieces. Bishop e2, 93, okay, he's attacking and just White have all his pieces developed and great control of the position. Black have no active plans here. Black only have material, but all the control of the position is in the white side. A6 was another possibility, covering the G5 square here. Bishop D3 was one possible plan, and the other was H4. And Queen C7 here was the best response for black. Queen C7, Knight B5, because you should go knight b5 because now black is threatening take on e5 with the knight. So attacking the queen, queen a5, bishop d3, still developing pieces, and d6. Very good pawn sacrifice to just can open the bishop. It's more important. Okay, black have more material, but you should just give material to can develop your pieces. It takes and bishop d7. Knight c7, and now I still giving more material. Okay, you want to take the rook, but I just want to take control of the position, activate my pieces, and take a space with the pawns. Doesn't care so much the material. I give you, okay, take a pawn. Now take my rook. I don't care. And with white, the same. You shouldn't take the rook. It's just better to just develop the pieces and forget about the material. So, Nesterov, in this moment, he played the move d4. And now, Harikrishna, it's not only that he made a very good prep and he made a very good opening idea, who is the truth. After that, he's still playing all his best moves, and Harikrishna play a perfect game. Now, d4 attacking the bishop f4 without taking the pawn. We should forget about the pawn. The d4 pawn have no importance. We should just place well the pieces. And here Nesterov made his second mistake and later the third. Here was stronger, or play h6, threatening g5, white should play h4, and then b5, just to open the bishop and to take more space with the queen. Yeah, doesn't care, the pawn doesn't care. h5, for example, queen b6, bishop b7, that's the idea of b5, just try to develop the pieces. Rook e1, knight e7, knight h4, this could be a possibility, or just play b5 directly without h6, bishop d3, queen b6, rook in the center, something like this could happen. The problem of queen b6 is that you are not fixing your real problem with the c8 bishop. That's the problem of black, the c8 bishop. This, so if you don't fix your problems, you are going to lose. It's easy. The bishop and by consequence the rook. If you don't develop the bishop, you cannot develop the rook. So black, when you are in this type of position, you just should try to think who is your problem and fix it. In general, in a chess game, chess is one of the keys of chess is make yourself the correct answers. If you make yourself a good answers, you could win the games and play better because it's just about make the correct answers, the correct questions. Sorry, I say answers, the correct questions. Well, you should think who is my problem in this position, my bishop and my rook. So just develop the pieces with b5. But queen b6, a mistake by Arseny Nesterov, and now Harikrishna is still playing so well. Just developing the pieces. That's the only thing that white should make here. Just develop pieces. And here again, that's the last try to play h6, h4, and now black should play more active. Okay, if you are not going to develop the bishop and the rooks, okay, I'm going to accept it. But at least with the two pieces that you have developed, at least play active with knight b4, bishop f5, and knight c2. Try something. If bishop takes, it's d3. So rook c1, knight e3, takes, and king e2. At least that's the best that black had. Okay, he's still having the problem with the bishop and the rook, but okay, I really like white position here. And he played his last mistake with knight e7, and here black is just lost, and Harikrishna attacked in a very, very good way. He made prophylaxis bishop d2, because black is threatening 95, so we just can go back with the bishop, 95, and now just take the pawn, normal move, and later the rooks are coming to the center, and white is just winning. But the huge problem of black position is that he cannot develop the c8 bishop because the d7 pawn is blocked by his own queen and the d7 pawn is blocked by the opponent's knight. So this bishop needs 100 tempos to be developed. That's what I don't like nothing Nesterov play because he forget about his real problem, which is the c8 bishop. So okay, he tries to place the knight on e3, bishop d3, just defending the bishop, king e7, and now I really like what Harikrishna do. He say, okay, you have a good knight on d3, congratulations, that's your best piece. So, okay, this knight is going to disappear. Then, rook takes e3. And he could take with the bishop, but no, 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 no. He prefers to give the rook and have the bishop to attack. Because it's going to be danger the dark square bishop than the e1 rook. So for that reason, he just decided to sacrifice the exchange. He takes and bishop takes. Now let's see that white have three pieces against a queen and a rook with so many material down. But the bishop on c8 is not playing, the c8 rook is not playing, and the most important thing, the black king is unsafe, which is a very important thing to evaluate. Now, if you take on b2, for example, just bishop here and rook e1, and white just have all his pieces perfectly placed, perfectly, and black, no. That's the reality. So rook f3, trying something. And now it's very important to take with the king to still having open the f file. If you take with the pawn queen here, if bishop g5, now black king can go to f8 and the f file is closed and you cannot attack the king. So too important to take with the king to keep open the f file, because after queen b2 play by Nesterov, here we have bishop g5, and the idea is that if king f8, now rook f1, and now the rook enter to the attack with early checkmate. So for that reason, he go to e6. Okay, bishop c2 and rook d1 was playable, but rook e1 fine. b5, bishop f5, king d5, bishop b4, and just take the rook. and black is still having the same problems, but now white now is up in material. Now I have a piece of a piece of a knight and a rook against the queen. So finally, white managed to be up in material. The c8 bishop is still undeveloped, and the black king is still unsafe. So queen c3, rook e3, queen c2, bishop e4, queen d1, king g3, queen h5, and h4. And here black resigned because okay, he's down in material. Apart, white is completely winning. Now the black king is so unsafe. The queen is have no squares. Let's see, the queen is trapped. The queen only go to d1, and on d1 is not making nothing. The king and apart, if you go to d1 with the king, with the queen, sorry, maybe there are checkmates here. But for example, bishop here, and rook d3 is winning your queen. Uh, you can move the bishop, but okay, you are not making nothing. For example, bishop f3 followed by, for example, bishop f3 trap your queen. Yes, you are just completely lost here. So very good game of Harikrishna. Maybe the game of the year. I all the days I saw many games, but I see many games, but this is one of the best games that I see this year. Maybe the best. I really like, and I hope that you are going to employ this idea in your games. So let's see how continue the tournaments. Harikrishna advanced round. So let's see the following rounds. Bye bye, motherfuckers.